focused sound tunnel that comes at you, and then it just dissipates, and like it sounds really good.
Yeah, it was so much fun. Do you want me here and then moving in? How do you want to do that?
I'll just keep it on the three of you.
Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So headlining this massive, free, cool Super Bowl fest. You got to be excited right here in your hometown.
Yeah, that's amazing. We're really fortunate to be a part of the whole NFL experience downtown. Free gig. I mean, it's crazy.
You're cracking me up. It's crazy. But we know that you guys do
It's
create
so fun.
you create an awesome party vibe. And that's really going to help to get things going, right?
Yeah, we try to. I mean, we like to think about our audience when we play things like gigs, and we also like to have fun. We also like people to respond that they're having fun when we're having fun. So short answer, yes, we like to have fun. We make a party out of it.
When you're at home, though, is it more special than when you're out playing in other cities? I mean, I'm sure that they all matter to you, but we're home. This is your town, and this is a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
I think for us, like we have, just growing up here and being friends and family come out, and we want to impress them because this is like really, because we go on tour all the time and play shows. They don't always get to come see us play. So when we are able to play at home, which we don't play here very often, it's their chance to come out, and so we want to play well for them, and not to mention like the fans that have been with us from the beginning. That when we started here, they were coming out to shows there. So it's like it's kind of it's a little nerve-wracking, to be honest, because you want to play really well.
I was going to ask you, do you get nervous when the people you love and care about are able to just come on in and critique you?
Sure, yeah. I mean, that's the thing is like you have your kids who come to the show who are like extremely brutal about, the set was not that great. I'd play this song there, or Dad, I think you messed up a part. They're very critical, so you feel pressure to deliver.
Well, you guys are both dads. I'm glad you went there because we were talking about what it's like behind the scenes to have kids. I mean, you're rock stars. You truly are. And you have kids who are like, it's just Dad going to work.
Yeah, you're still not that cool because you're Dad.
Right.
I mean,
that's
you're
humbling.
You're sort of cool, but you're not that cool, man. Like it doesn't matter how cool you are. You're still Dad. It makes things different.
And you need to get out on stage so that we can guzzle the Coke behind the scenes.
Yeah, my kids like coming to see us play because when I'm on stage, there's no one to tell them no. They can't drink all the sugary beverage.
Yeah. You're like the rest of us parents, right? Sometimes we just lose control of the kids, and that's just how it goes, right?
Sometimes you got to let the kids just kind of, make their own decisions and go wild. But then, thankfully, our sets are only about no longer than 2 hours, so we can get back to the backstage and rein it in.
Yeah, as far as I think as a parent, you just got to provide a safe environment for them to go crazy in, and I think that's about as safe as it gets, really.
Well, yeah, backstage when you guys are out rocking. Yeah, for sure.
There's a ceiling on crazy too, so
that's true. That's true. It's subjective. Okay, take me back in time because you guys have been around for a long time, and to be able to have a career like you guys have had with Arizona roots, for us to be able to watch you continue to make new music, to continue to remain on tour, that's saying a lot, especially in your business.
Yeah, it's not very often that you have a lineup that's intact for 30 years that, bands stick around and play, but there's always different iterations of it. So it is pretty unique that we've been able to do it. I think we're lucky that we started the way we did. We started as just friends in high school. Like Jim and I knew each other in preschool. Rick and Tom met in junior high, and we all kind of formed in high school. And just with those roots, it just kind of makes it easy to be like, yeah, this is we're just still today high school kids just trying to play shows and make music, and that's always kind of been our focus, and it's made it easier for us to get to this point. But if you would have asked us then, if we'd be here now, we would have not believed you.
Well, it's got to help with the chemistry too, right? I mean, you know each other. You obviously like each other. You can count on each other to show up when you need to.
Yeah, I think we're really fortunate that I think we, like Zach said, we this started the way it did in the place it did, because that instilled in us the work ethic and the mindset you actually need to have longevity in this. Because when we were kids, this wasn't exactly a hip happening music scene place as a town. In fact, like, down, we were just saying before we went on air, like,
Where are we?
Where even are we right now? This is not downtown that we know, like, as kids. Like, it's so much has changed here. But, back then it was just all about, like, you had to just be proud of what you were doing, because that was all you had guaranteed to you. Like, there's nobody, no one cared. Like, you can do anything you want because no one cares. But the bad thing is, when you're doing something you really love, no one cares.
Well,
You just had to satisfy. I mean, what I'm saying is, like, you had to make yourself proud of what you're doing, and you had to make sure that it was fun first, because really that's what you had. And as we grow up and as we continue to get opportunities presented to us, we just carry that with us, and it's, we're never let down by expectations, because we don't have any other than, like, us feeling some sense of reward.
yeah. Well, I mean, the Super Bowl has got to be a huge reward.
Yeah, I mean, so you take it forward to now, and it's just like, crazy.
So when you think about opening, it's the Super. Tell me the name of this fest. The Super. Okay. So when you think about opening the Super Bowl experience at Hans Park, I mean, that does have to be mind blowing for you here in your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's still, it's just crazy.
It's
Like,
a huge honor,
Yeah.
It really is a huge honor for us, just because, not only is it important for us because we're from here, but it being such a big week for the city. You have the Super Bowl, you have the Waste Management Open, like, everyone's gonna, like, come into Phoenix, and it's gonna be a big party. And so for us to be even a small part of that, and the fact that we can do it and it's a free event that anyone in the community can come to is, like, it's hard to beat.
Yeah, there's no reason for anybody here, and there's no reason for anybody who's traveling from out of town not to come down.
You're like on the welcome committee.
There's a lot of pressure on us to deliver, Arizona to the world.
But it seems appropriate, though.
Yeah,
We'll do our best.
yeah, we better not mess up.
No, you better not. That's a lot of pressure. A couple more questions, and I'll let you guys go. When you got that first record deal, what was that like? Did you guys go just get a bunch of singles and then put them around an apartment and roll around in all the money?
Because it was like maybe 10 singles. It's interesting because I think when, it's all about perspective. I mean, we signed a record deal, and kind of at a time when we probably had no business doing that. We were all teenagers still, and no one really knew who we were. We had like a little small contingent of fans here in Phoenix, but not to really deserve a record, like a major label record deal. So, but at the time when we signed, it was like, oh, we made it. And it was a really quick lesson, and just because you signed a record deal doesn't mean you've made it at all. And we learned that, and we kind of had to kind of face that and work through it. And we're like, okay, well, I think at that time it was a good lesson in, like, okay, we're responsible for our path forward, and we can't rely on, just because we're on a label or just because we have these, this kind of the support around us, we need to, like, forge it. And so it was a good learning lesson for us.
For you? Same?
Yeah, I think, it's like Zach said, we were educated really quickly about the music industry, and I think we sort of shifted our perspective, like, okay, well, we get to do this now. At least we'll have some funny stories about going to LA. And that was enough for us.
There's a level of humility that you have, the entire group has, that to me is so representative of Arizona. And I wonder too, as so many of us who do follow you, if that's why we connect so well with you and your music. Because you just feel like one of us.
Well, we are.
Well, in your minds, but to us, you're rock stars, and that's a big deal.
Whatever.
But you're willing to share even the behind the scenes part of your life. But that to me is so Arizona.
Well, I mean, when we were coming up, it was like, we didn't have a lot of places to play, being kids, and the bar scene being not for kids. You just sort of had to work together with the people around you in the arts community and support each other, or you're not going to do anything.
Yeah.
So this is kind of like, that's who we are now as people, still.
And I think a lot of people don't realize this, but being in a band and, like, being a young band and developing and kind of growing through those early years, it is just nothing but a steady dose of humility.
Yeah.
It's like you're asking people, you're begging for a place to stay from the crowd. We've stayed at the sketchiest houses and homes where the weirdest stuff happens. And we're like, man, we're really lucky that we're like
Alive.
So, you know, it's, I think starting that way and just being kind of, you get kind of just punched in the gut over and over and over. And luckily for us, along the way, we worked hard and we kind of persevered and we got lucky. I think that's another thing too, is like we were extremely lucky to be in the position we're in. So I think when you start that way, it's like, it's hard to shake it. You know, like, I don't think anyone wants to be around the dude who's like, yeah, I'm a rock star. You know,
Truth.
I'm cool. And so we've always tried to be like, that's not important. Like
Yeah.
who we are as like, whatever. And in the eyes of anyone else, it's kind of like, we always just kind of focus on, okay, we're going to try to be the best band we can be.
I think the longer that we do this, the easier it is to find gratitude in smaller things. So it
Yes.
doesn't take a whole lot for us to be excited about continuing to do it, because we just appreciate everything that comes in, because it ends. And not
does.
everybody gets to do it. So
Yeah. But it's cool that you guys get that. So thank you. And
Yeah,
I know that's a
thanks a lot.
huge part of why you guys are doing this, and we're really excited. So thank you for your time.
yeah, thank you very much.
You bet.
Do you guys want to talk really quick about the opener?
We can't talk about Gin Blossoms, can we? Or will it?
As long as you hold it.
Yeah, we're not running it today.
Okay.
We cannot talk about the opening band, Gin Blossoms.
Who are they? I mean, we got a double dose of Arizona here.
It's so much Arizona.
This is awesome. And I mean, you guys have played together before.
We haven't.
You've never played before
we
together?
have.
We played a festival outside of Dallas that Gin Blossoms and us were a part of, but we've
okay.
never done an actual gig like this with the Gin Blossoms. Is that the official throw into this? We can talk
No,
about
I mean, that's just a really big deal. Because I mean, I think most people would assume two very big name bands
Yeah.
and similar personalities, really. You would think that you guys had been on tour together before.
We've never been on tour together. You know, it's weird because a lot of people assume that, but you know, when we were starting out, they were older than we were, and they were kind of more a part of like the Tempe bar scene, which was like kind of like the only kind of recognizable, thriving scene in the Phoenix area at that time. Where we were a little bit younger than that, so we weren't really a part of that because we were minors and we couldn't play in bars, and so we never really crossed paths, even though we weren't that far away from each other age-wise.
Yeah.
But I mean, like when we started out, when we were in high school, when the band was starting, like they had like massive hit after massive hit on
Yeah.
the radio, and you know, we had a lot of respect and reverence for them when we were starting. So the fact that we can play together now, like 30 years later, is pretty special.
It's going to be super special for us to watch. You were going to say something?
No, it's just crazy. I concur with my colleague Zach on the wildness of it all.
Yeah.
You crack me up. He's always dry-witted, isn't he?
Most of the time.
Yeah.
I like your enthusiasm.
I'm so
It's
happy.
crazy. I know. This has just been fun. Thank you. Looking forward to seeing this. That's awesome.
That really
Yeah.
is. That's going to be a great.
It's going to be an awesome concert.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and the thing is it's free, which is crazy. Like these two bands that kind of, you know, maybe minus like Alice Cooper, like sort of are two marquee bands from the Phoenix area, and us playing together is really cool.
Be a good little jam session. Only it's going to be a big jam
Yes,
session.
it's going to be massive.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Thanks a lot.
You bet. Thank you so much. How long do we need to hold that? I just want